How you guys doing? Well, I'm going to tell you one thing here. I have the worst PowerPoint presentation of any PowerPoint presentation here, okay? But hopefully my topic of conversation makes up for my lack of PowerPoint skills. What I'm here to talk about today is about motivation and motivating clients. So as he said, recently I went to London. I was recognized by Life Fitness as one of the top 10 personal trainers in the world. Now, obviously that's a humbling experience. I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, so I took a 6-hour flight from, where did I fly from? Atlanta all the way here to come to speak to you guys today. And the reason being is I saw on Facebook, we're friends, we've never met before. He said, I need presenters. I said, hey, I like talking to people. So here we go. So forgive me for my accent. But here's the deal. I have a couple questions that I want to ask to you guys. Let's really think about who we train. And let's think about and take a journey through their mind. Let me ask you a question. Why do you think people don't exercise or eat better? Why do you think? Give me some reasons. Stress. Time, trauma. All are great answers. It's hard. It takes work. It's hard work. Eating better, exercising, all of that takes time, and it's hard work. How do we get people to change? Motivate. Change their beliefs. Inspire them. Connect with them. Connection is the biggest piece and the most missing piece in personal training. At one point or another, I've developed over 1,000 trainers. Like he said, I was a national fitness director for 36 clubs. I've spent most of my time working with trainers versus training clients. And one of the biggest holes that I found between the connection between the client and the trainer is really the trainer. So are we really part of the problem? Obviously, you guys here today, the answer to that is no, because you're here to continue your education. But as a whole in this industry, as he was speaking earlier, it's the connection between that client and that trainer. I got 16 certifications. Who cares? Not one client in 10 years has ever asked me, are you CSCS certified? What does that mean? Why are there so many letters behind your name? Nobody cares. Nobody cares what I know. They only care that I care about them. So my presentation here today is Emotional Intelligence, the Nuances of Motivating Clients. So this is my introduction. I've spent 10 years as a trainer, an educator, a presenter. Obviously, my recent Life Fitness Award, I was quoted earlier this year by the New York Times. So I've spent a lot of time in this industry. Most of it, obviously, is working with trainers versus working with clients. Let's think about the personal trainer of old, the archaic trainer. You've got, obviously, tailored program design, cardiovascular programming, ACSM guidelines, nutritional support, evaluation every 4 to 6 weeks, body fat testing, no pain, no gain. Now, obviously, these are components that we all have today. But what is the personal trainer of today? What does that trainer look like? And who is that trainer supposed to be? Empathetic, motivation, inspired to change, emotionally intelligent, body language, adaptable, and a good listener. That last one is probably the most important, is learning how to listen. And I want to tell you guys a story. When I started 10 years ago, I was given a client that On the surface, looked like just a regular person. She was semi-fit, but wanted to be more fit. But every time that I would train with this person over the course of about 2 to 3 weeks, I would look at her in the face, and she'd close her eyes. So automatically, some signals went off in my head that possibly there could be something that's more on the deeper end than just what she's telling me she wants to lose a couple pounds. So one day, this girl says, hey, I want to take you into the office and I want to talk to you. And automatically I'm thinking, okay, well, she doesn't like me. It's time for a change. And she sits down and she starts crying. She says, I have something to tell you. She says, I've been abused by every man I've ever come in contact with. I've been raped twice, and you scare me. So automatically, at 21 years old, I'm starting this in this industry. I have to deal with this. So on the surface, this person looks like just a regular person. I'm here. I'm going to do bicep curls with you. We're going to do push-ups. We're going to get fit. We're going to change your nutrition. But there's more to it than just that. There's a person that now is relying on me to not only change their body, but also change their life. And at that moment, light switch goes off. This is not about exercise. It's never been about fitness. It's always been about making a change, because fitness is just a vehicle that we use to change people. So at that moment, at 21 years old, I'm dealing with someone that I've never had to deal with before. Someone who is now relying on me, not only for fitness, but also for a component of their entire life. I now am entered into their world. I have married them. So I started doing more research on psychology of personal training because I needed to know how the psyche of the person works. Because in order for me to make a change in someone, I obviously have to know who I'm dealing with. So through the years, I've researched a lot of different topics: motivational interviewing, emotional intelligence, all of these psychological terms that are used, and I've tried to incorporate them into personal training. And obviously through the years, I've taught trainers how to do this process. So we go back to who we're training and who comes to see us. And I found this little statistic that 97% of all people will quit an exercise program at some point. Now that doesn't mean they quit totally, but they stop. 97%. So the 3% are obviously sitting in this room. So 97%, that's a humongous statistic. Why do you guys think that is? Is it because people are lazy? No? Maybe. Can I have a volunteer? Anybody? Come on up. Okay. Thank you. Name something that you absolutely hate doing.
In exercise?
No, in life. That you despise. That you just, every time that you think of it, it makes you cringe. Cleaning the house, doing the dishes, taking the dog out.
Love that. Maybe I'm a bad person. I don't know that I hate anything. So driving, sitting in traffic.
Okay, sitting in traffic. Sitting in traffic. So you don't like sitting in traffic. Okay? It's a waste of time. Why do you not like sitting in traffic?
It's a waste of time.
Waste of time. Okay. What if I told you that in order for you to look the way that you do, and for you to be healthy, and for you to be in shape, that you had to sit in traffic every day, 5 days a week for an hour, in order to look the way that you do?
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it. Why?
I hate traffic that much.
That's the people we train. They think that in order for them to be in shape, they have to do that an hour a day, 5 times a week, for something that they hate to do. That's why that statistic is right there. Because our perception of what we do is there's an adherence to it. They don't want to do it. They've never been exposed to it. They see Jillian Michaels on the TV yelling at people and cussing at people that are 400 pounds. That's not personal training. Thank you. So let's take a journey inside the mind of a client. And when I sit down with someone, I really want to get an idea of what they're feeling. Has there been any past, disinterest in exercise? Have they really had any bad experiences? Or have they had no experiences at all? What's their attitude towards fitness? What are their expectations? Do they have expectations? Do they not? And then most importantly, what is their fear? And a lot of times I find that people are not necessarily afraid to fail as they are afraid to succeed. And what I mean by that is when people start to make a difference in their life, then it becomes an expectation for them to continue it. And a lot of times we have problems, as I've said before, 97% of people stop an exercise program at some point. It becomes an expectation for them to continue. So this topic of conversation in this, defining terms, emotional intelligence. When I was a student at the University of Kentucky, I took a class on emotional intelligence. And actually I had absolutely no idea what this meant, no idea what I was going to learn. But it was probably the most beneficial class that I ever took because it prepared me for my career as a personal trainer. So emotional intelligence is really just being able to read people's emotions, facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, and being able to recognize that and obviously adjust accordingly. So your definition here is just addresses the emotional, personal, social, and survival dimensions of intelligence. People that can read people are smarter than people that can take a standardized test. So we look at this as street smarts. Being able to read people is a unique skill. So through increasing your emotional intelligence, you can learn the following. How to successfully manage difficult situations, as we're all put in every day, as I told you the client story earlier. How to express yourself clearly. Decipher body language. I notice, over the years that we have a problem sometimes dealing with people's body language because what you bring me today may not be what you brought me yesterday or what you will bring me tomorrow. So being able to recognize when people are not necessarily in the greatest of moods and understanding body language. And obviously how to influence people. So this is just a little research on EI or EQ. This was a study done with Fortune 500 companies that found that salespeople that had a high EQ actually produced twice the revenue than those that had average or below scales. And then obviously this is other research that backs it up by the U.S. Air Force. But one of the things that I really want to concentrate on is this thought plus decision equals behavior. If I can change the thought, then I can obviously change the behavior. Us as trainers cannot demand change. We can only inspire it. You cannot tell someone what to do. You can only inspire them to do it. And there's a couple ways that you can do this. one of the biggest things that I stress with myself and my clients, and also when I'm developing trainers, is the very first time that you meet a client is the most important day, because that sets the tone for what is going to continue from there on out. They're going to make a judgment on you as a trainer based upon what they see the first day. So you obviously have to make a great impression. Now, I compare everything to dating. I'm single, no kids, not married. I date. Don't like to. It's not fun. But this is like dating. Okay? 80% of our clients are women, right? What do women want to talk about? Themselves. How do you get a woman to talk about themselves? Ask them a question. Ask a question, listen, and shut the hell up. So that's what I do. I go on dates with clients, not, as obviously we've covered, not disclaimer.